Rooshad, you are the associate designer of the fashion show here?
Yes.
So what was the aim of this show? What's the new thing that you wanted to do?
So the premise of the exhibition was also the idea of India's influence on fashion through 18th century to contemporary. And what we wanted to do in this place was to also look at the idea of how different moments of architecture within India were a source of inspiration for the scenography of the place as well. And being in a large footprint such as the convention center there, which was 50,000 square feet, we were allowed to do something which was much more of an architectural intervention because of the scale at which the convention center was. We had a 12-meter height to play with. So when you go into a space, it allows you to have larger volumes, smaller, so also the hierarchy of spaces that you kind of navigate through as you see the exhibition, and setting context to some of the clothes that were presented in that space.
So how many outfits is there in the show?
They're close to 140.
It's a lot, right?
Yeah, it's a lot.
So is there a message about, there's kind of a message about the influence of India on the fashion world, right?
No, absolutely. And the idea of the exhibition was to trace that influence. So when it's from the 18th century, it was much more about textiles, and then it moves from textiles to silhouettes like the sari or the drapes, or even the embellishment like the embroidery and craftsmanship, which of course now is a very important part of any design house when they come to India. So the exhibition traces these kind of influences through different design houses.
And also there's not this kind of venue in India, right?
No, absolutely not. We don't even have the idea of a museum or like a contemporary art museum or the idea of going to exhibitions. So I think this would really be almost like a catalyst for change. I think it's really the start of something quite exciting in Bombay, where you are introducing people to the idea of actually just going to a museum or to see a show. And I think that is fundamental for what Mumbai needs at the moment.
But is there this kind of venue in Delhi?
Not at this scale. So, I mean, in terms of like, though it's a convention center, it's really programmed with the specs of museums, like humidity control, temperature control. So even to get loans now would become relatively easier because there is a space that can actually house historic pieces, whether it would be artworks or it would be, you know, garments or whatever other shows that they plan on having. And
so here is an artwork that you commissioned, right?
Yes, sir. This was actually just for the event, for the launch. So it's an artist called Shilpa Gupta, and she has created a work that would be viewed, in fact, from the elevator. So the idea was that when guests move from ground to level 3,
yes,
the art becomes something that you are part of. And she does a lot of work with neon text. And so this was also another way of her kind of re-looking at the idea of fashion and people looking into the mirror and kind of the dialogue between themselves, the body, the clothes, and, you know.
Normally we think that the mirror is giving the truth, but do we know the truth about what will be the program of this place?
Well, time will tell.
Merci.
Thank you.